you.
Workshop, every house represented here is a story of determination. Before us are the men and women whose businesses and houses will give lasting meaning to this investment. So I welcome all of you to actually give us an overview of this amazing road investment. Let me welcome our very experienced engineer, Engineer Richard Unana Daudu, the Acting Executive Secretary of FCDA.
Your Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, here represented by the Speaker of the Nigerian House of Representatives, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, GCON, ranking members of the National Assembly that are here, as well as other members present, both serving and former, the Honorable Minister of FCT, His Excellency Barrister Ezenwo Nyesom Wike, CON, the Honorable Minister of State, FCT, Dr. Maria Mahmoud, Area Council Chairman present, other top government officials and functionaries present, ladies and gentlemen. Kindly permit me to align with the protocol as established by the Director of Ceremony as I welcome you all. Your Excellency, it is my honor to express our gratitude to you for making our time to grace this occasion of the commissioning of access roads to the informal sector layout in Wasa District, Abuja. Your Excellency, as part of the mandate of the FCT administration and in its pursuit to sustain consistent strides in infrastructure development, awarded a contract for the construction of access roads, power and water supply to the informal sector layout in Wasa to Messrs. CGC Nigeria Limited in November 2025. The work commenced immediately. Your Excellency, the informal sector layout is an area earmarked in the Abuja Master Plan to accommodate informal sectors of the city's economy. These are sectors that were not provided for in the commercial hubs and areas of the master plan within the city center. Your Excellency, this informal sector layout was therefore designed to be on the city fringes where they can carry on their operations without constituting a menace in the city center. Such sectors, who also contribute significantly to the economy, include the motor mechanics, the motor parts dealers, car mart operators, informal markets, and other artisans, as well as housing estates for lower income. This part where we are presently is the informal sector layout that was earmarked to move the auto mechanics and traders from their current congested location along the outer southern expressway to a more organized arrangement. It therefore became necessary to provide infrastructure in preparation for this movement to this area. Your Excellency, the scope of works for this project includes the construction of 3-lane dual carriageway, that is 3 lanes in each direction, separated by a median totaling over 3 kilometers. The road, a 10-meter asphalt paved carriageway, comes with concrete line drains on both sides, over 6 kilometers of that. 6 box and pipe culverts were provided, as well as solar-powered street lighting. Electrical power supply and water supply are also being provided. Your Excellency, the road works have been completed and ready to be put to use. In the course of the work, many Nigerians were directly employed with innumerable indirect employment generated. The completion of this project effectively lays the foundation for a well-organized informal sector and commercial hub of the city. The provision of these roads opens up the district for development towards improvement of the socio-economic lives of the citizens as well as security in this area. We thank the President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, and the Honorable Minister of FCT, Barrister Enzo Onyeson Wike, CON, for the privilege to be part of this project. Thank you all for coming. God bless you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Engineer Dauda. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is very clear that the informal sector is not a footnote in our national development aspiration. It is one of the principal chapters of our evolution. It is where enterprise begins, where innovation takes practical form. Let me welcome here the Managing Director of CGC, Zhang Jiong, to tell us what it took to do this road.
Your Excellency, the Speaker of House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, GCON. Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister of FCT, Barrister Enzo Nielsen Wiki, CON. Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister of State for the FCT, Dr. Maria Mahmoud. Other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's a great honor to speak on behalf of CGC Nigeria Limited and the commissioning of the access road to the informal sector layout in Wasa district. Today is more than commissioning of a road. It is the opening of new opportunities, new investments, and new possibilities for the people of FCT. CGC Nigeria Limited is proud to have delivered this project on schedule and to the required quality standards. We remain committed to supporting the development vision of the FCTA. Yesterday, during his media chat, the Honorable Minister reminded us that development is not only about building roads, but about building communities. This project reflects the vision by creating the foundation for the future growth and sustainable urban development. Where roads go, development follows. Where development grows, business thrives. Where business thrives, people prosper. This project will improve collectivity, support economic activity, attract investment, and create better opportunities for the people of Wasa and the FCT. We are equally encouraged by the Honorable Minister's commitment to extend development beyond the city center, to that more communities can share in the benefit of progress. On behalf of CGC Nigeria Limited, I sincerely thank the government of Federal Republic of Nigeria for its trust and confidence in our company. We especially appreciate the visionary leadership of the Honorable Minister of the FCT and the support of the Honorable Minister of State, our government partners, consultants, host communities, and every member of our project team. Together, we build roads. Together, we connect communities. Together, we create a better future. Thank you very much. May God bless the FCT, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Managing Director of CGC Nigeria Limited. Our next speaker totally believes that every road begins with a foundation. Every successful business begins with a single opportunity. Today, those two journeys meet here in Wasa. One built through engineering, the other sustained by enterprise. Together, they remind us that when infrastructure reaches the people, prosperity follows. Let me welcome the Honorable Minister of State for FCT, Dr. Maria Mahmood.
Your Excellency, the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, ably represented by His Excellency Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, GCON, the Speaker, House of Representatives, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Distinguished senators that are here with us, all other members of the National Assembly, both former and present, the Honorable Minister of FCT, Barrister Ezomo Yosumwike COA, Mr. Project and Life Venture, all other members of the Executive Council that are here with us, the top ranking members of the FCDA and FCTA that are here, Area Council Chairmen, our royal fathers and community leaders, leaders of our political parties, the contractor CGC Nigeria Limited, Captain of Industries, members of the diplomatic corps, distinguished personalities, our women groups, teaming youth, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It is with heart full of gratitude and deep sense of joy that I rise again to deliver the vote of thanks at this memorable occasion in Wasa District. Today, we celebrate more than the commissioning of road, as it has been highlighted. We celebrate the arrival of hope, the triumph of purposeful leadership, and the fulfillment of promise to bring development closer to our people. This occasion stands as a shining reminder that when leadership is guided by vision and compassion, communities are opened up, lives are touched, and the future begins to become brighter for our people. On behalf of the Federal Capital Territory Administration, I express our profound appreciation to His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, whose renewed hope agenda continues to inspire and drive the transformation of the Federal Capital Territory Administration. Mr. President's vision is being translated into visible progress as communities once left on the margins are now being connected to the promise of modern infrastructure and a better living conditions. I also pay heartfelt gratitude to His Excellency, Honorable Minister of FCT, Barrister Ezomo Yosumwike, whose bold leadership and uncompromising commitment to serving are changing the face of FCT. Under his watch, development is no longer confined to the city center alone. It's reaching the district, the communities, and the people that exactly needed it the most. Ladies and gentlemen, this project in Wasa is another clear proof that the Wike's administration is determined to open up every part of FCT to growth, investment, and prosperity. To the good people of Wasa, this project belongs to you. We therefore urge you to protect it, use it responsibly, and see it as a shared asset for the progress of your community and the future of your children. Government can build, but it's the people who must preserve and sustain what has been provided to them. I sincerely thank you all, everyone that is here, our distinguished guests, the traditional rulers, our community leaders, development partners, the contractor, media, and all stakeholders whose support and cooperation has contributed to the successful delivery of this special project. Your partnership remains critical to the continued advancement of the FCT, the nation's capital. Once again, I thank Mr. President for his inspiring leadership and Honorable Minister Barrister Ezomo Yosumwike for his tireless commitment to the transformation of FCT. Thank you all for coming. May God bless you all. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of State. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, every public investment whispers a promise of tomorrow. Every completed project becomes an act of confidence in a future not yet visible. Every milestone reminds us that progress is never accidental. It is designed, it is pursued, it is sustained, it is protected. Today we are here in Wasa. And in leadership that matters to the people. It is with honor and humility that I welcome that leader here. Let me welcome to the podium the Honorable Minister of the FCT, Barrister Chief Inyeso Ezenwawike.
Excellency, Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably presented by the workaholic Speaker, Dr. Tajuddin Abbas, Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger. Distinguished senators here present, members of the House of Representatives, the Honorable Minister of State, FCT, the former Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, leaders of political parties, and candidates of various political parties that are here, our dear traditional rulers, chairmen of area councils, the managing director of CGC and your management team, head of service, permanent secretaries, our dear women, our dear youth, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Speaker, let me on behalf of the Federal Capital Territory Administration join the Minister of State. So thank you and I appreciate you joining us today, the 23rd day of the 31st day of your march for commissioning of projects. I know that you have started today to represent Mr. Speaker. I know you will be there on Monday. I also know you'll be there on Wednesday, you'll be there on Thursday. So let me thank you in advance since you came back to actualize these responsibilities and duties, Mr. President, are assigned to you. Mr. Speaker, it's important for us to let the people know. When we were appointed by Mr. President and were inaugurated sometimes in August 2023, we did have stakeholder meetings as it affects various area councils. I do know that one of the areas we went to dialogue and discuss with them was the Apo Mechanic Traders Association that is along the Ossex Road. Remember that during Mr. President's first year anniversary, we commissioned the first section of Ossex. In the second year, we commissioned the second section. In the third year, which is what we just said, that was the first, we also commissioned. We believe by the grace of God, before the end of the tenure of Mr. President second time, that the footpath, which is about 10 kilometers, would have been awarded and also completed for the use of our people. But one thing that is very clear was that every government had come and promised, based on the master plan of Abuja, that Apo Traders Mechanic Association, where they are along there, will be moved to this particular district as the informal sector, because being on the road was not conducive. But those promises were made by every government that has come. But thank God Almighty today, as Bola Ahmed Tinubu became the president of Nigeria, he discussed with them and told them that they moved them here. Just last year, November, as the ESFCDA had said, this contract was awarded on providing infrastructure that will enable government to move their port traders and mechanical association here. This has been fulfilled. November till now, how many months? Not even up to a year. We thank you for the support. We thank Mr. President for the support. And we thank the National Assembly. I hope the port traders and mechanics are here. I hope the port traders and mechanical association are here. Are you happy? The way you are shouting, you are happy is like somebody who is not happy. Are you happy? You know, there's somebody at the back there. Anywhere we go, you say agreement is agreement. And you know, when we came, I told you that this promise Mr. President is making will be fulfilled. And you also told us that when he does that, you will also fulfill the agreement. Don't you so? Now that he has done his own, will you fulfill your own agreement? Now you're not shouting loud again. Oh. So let me hear you finally. Will you fulfill your own agreement? So you see why you must take this administration very serious. Unlike other governments that have come for how many years, I have made promises particular to this area. Those promises were not fulfilled. Asuwaju came in 2023, made a promise. This job was awarded last year. He made promise to us, fulfill that promise. And you have shown quality. We want to say we continue to partner with you and work together for the interest of the FCT. Let me also thank the acting secretary of the FCDA and your team for making sure that the company work as specified. I thank you. It shall not be easy, but we'll give God the glory, the result. Let me also thank the area council chairman who always make contracts are various council who don't have any youth confrontation. I want to thank them for supporting and be assured you that more to the various area councils. On that note, I invite Mr. President to do the needful by talking to the people of Wasa and commissioning the project. God bless you.
Principal officers of the National Assembly here present, distinguished senators and members of the National Assembly, both current and past, my brother, my leader and friend, the Honorable Minister of FCT, Barrister Ezenwo Nyesun Wike, CON, the Minister of State Federal Capital Territory, my dear sister, Dr. Maria Mahmoud, the head of service of the Federal Capital Territory Authority, chairman of the FCT Civil Service Commission, the executive secretary of Federal Capital Territory, the managing director of CGC, who is the contractor of this project, all chairmen of the area council, all royal fathers present here, management and staff of FCTM administration, distinguished invited guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. As you are all aware, I'm not here in my capacity as the speaker. I'm here representing the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. So the speech I'm going to read is the speech coming from the mouth of Mr. President. He said, "It gives me great pleasure to stand before you today as we celebrate in our collective journey towards urban renewal, economic inclusivity, and national transformation. Today, we are here to officially commission access roads, power, and water supply to the informal sector layout in Wasa district of Abuja. When we took the oath of office and presented the renewed hope agenda to the Nigerian people, we made a solemn pledge that no segment of our society will be left behind, and the infrastructure will not be built for only the elite. Economic empowerment of the everyday Nigerian. For over a decade, our hardworking mechanics, artisans, and traders, particularly those from the Apo Mechanic Village, have operated under challenging conditions, awaiting a permanent, structured, and conducive environment to drive their businesses. The relocation to Wasa district was a promise long delayed by previous administrations. Today, under this administration, that promise has been fulfilled. We are commissioning today of access roads, erecting electricity poles, This is an investment in human dignity and economic freedom. The informal sector is the true engine of our economy, sustaining millions of livelihoods. By providing premium infrastructure, we are transforming this district into a modern, vibrant commercial hub that will boast Abuja's internally generated revenue for the cost of doing business. I must at this juncture commend the Honorable Minister of the Barrister Nyesom Wike, his dedication, unmatched drive, and effective leadership. He has time again that with the right political will, projects are not just conceptualized, they are executed with speed. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, can you give a round of applause to our Honorable Minister for a job well done? Thank you, Mr. Minister. Thank you, Mr. Walks. You are making Nigerians proud in Abuja. Equally deserving of praise is the Honorable Minister of State for the FCT, Dr. Maria Mahmoud. Her steadfast support, collaborative spirit, and dedication of the people has been instrumental in harmonizing the efforts of the FCT to deliver on our promises. Together as a team, They have shown that the abandoned public projects in the Federal Capital Territory is officially over. Thank you, Dr. to the Honorable Minister. Business owners and residents who will utilize the out. This picture belongs to you. I urge you to protect it, maintain it, and use it as a foundation to scale up your businesses and create and generate employment of our teeming youth. To all Nigerians, I'm deeply aware of the current economic realities across our nation. As your president, I hear your concern and I carry the weight. Undoubtedly, and their the utmost sincerity that these decisions, they are difficult but necessary surgeries required for the patient. We are painstakingly tearing down the structures of the past to lay an unshakable, sustainable foundation for a prosperous future. Distinguished guests, gentlemen, true nation building patience, resilience, and collective effort. No great nation was ever built overnight or on the foundation of easy short-term fixes. I therefore urge you all, our hard-working artisans, our youths, our elders, and citizens across the Federation to continue to support this administration. Stand with us as we navigate this challenging transition. Your trust is the fuel that drives our resolve, and I promise you that your sacrifices will not be in vain. Let me reassure citizens today, this government stands on the welfare of all Nigerians. We are not just asking you to endure. We are actively working to cushion the effects and build a resilient economy. We are implementing targeted intervention programs, investing heavily in agriculture to ensure food security, and creating jobs through massive structural developments like the one we are seeing here today. My administration will not rest on its oars. We will continue to do more, build more, and invest more until the benefits of these reforms reach every single Nigerian home. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor and privilege to officially commission the access roads, power, and water supply to the informal sector layout was a district to the glory of the Almighty God and for the use of our people. Thank you. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
All our special guests will be joining His Excellency, the Speaker of the House of Reps, to officially go and commission the project.
Again, congratulate the good people of this district all our mechanics and artisans coming from Apo and other parts of Abuja, history is made again. And this history is made through working minister who has been able to identify critical needs of the people of Abuja in several areas. And today, he has delivered on one of the promises made by His Excellency and Commander of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to identify a befitting location for our artisans and mechanics where they can conduct their businesses in a more conducive environment. So to the glory of the Almighty God, and for the use of the people of Abuja, particularly our mechanics and artisans, I hereby commission this important project. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, access road to the layout Wasa District, Abuja, officially commissioned by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, on this very important Friday, the 10th of July, 2026.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We'll now have a group photograph with our special guests. We'll take the national anthem. National anthem, please.
Yes, so we can walk
Thank you very much for coming.
Adbn, a part of you.
Many thanks for joining us on today's edition of Market Report on Adbn Television. My name is Adefolarin Olamilekon. On today's edition of the show, it is all about the question about Nigeria exiting OPEC. In the wake of the United Arab Emirates' decision to exit Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, some are beginning to ask a provocative question. Should Nigeria consider doing the same? It is a kind of question that tends to surface at the moment of global uncertainty, when bold moves by one country invite imitation by others, regardless of whether its underlying conditions are comparable. The UAE announcement, coming after nearly 6 decades of a membership of OPEC, was framed around national interest, productivity, flexibility. It also landed on a tense geopolitical moment with rising friction involving Iran and disruption around key oil transit routes. Market reacted quickly. Brent crude oil was up about 3% to more than $111 per barrel, and Western Texaco Intermediary WTI was up about 3.5% to about $100 per barrel, reflecting a both immediate and uncertainty and a longer-term application for supply coordination. For Nigeria, however, the question about exiting OPEC cannot be answered by analogy alone. It must be grounded in a country's own reality, which are both evolving and in some respect improving. We're being joined right now by Professor Ken Ife, who happens to be an economist, one of Nigeria's finest economists and energy expert, who will be helping us understand this quite critical question. Should Nigeria leave OPEC at this point in time? Prof, a good day to have you on the show, sir. All right. Prof, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, go. Okay, sir. Interesting. Thanks for joining us on the show today, Prof.
Thank you for having me.
So, I'll throw the question at you, Prof. Has been asked and has been said across Nigeria. Should Nigeria leave OPEC at this point in time?
Without further delay. Let me take you back a little bit. OPEC was formed well before, I think in the 60s, earlier than that. But what happened was that in 1974, 75, I remember. And what makes me remember was because it was my final year in the secondary school, 1974. There was a national essay competition about OPEC. And I wrote that essay. And I won the national essay competition. Now, what that makes me, I can't forget about OPEC if I did that earlier on in my life. So what happened was I began that essay by quoting Henry Kissinger, because Henry Kissinger was attacking the OPEC, that this is a cartel that is now going to influence the price of crude and that they're going to the price up. And then he actually said something. He said, do we work together? Do we pull our strength together and progress together, or test our strength and fall together? That was the quotation. So the crisis, they were now thinking of military action. And then at the same time, they were now raising also, what about copper union? How about food? So America and all these European countries came together to say, we're going to fight this, but on the other hand, we have to make sure they don't come to food. So they started subsidizing rice, sugar, soya beans. Those products till today that are being subsidized heavily is a counterforce to what happened in OPEC. Now let's come to the OPEC. The only way America resigned the use of force was because they went into the petrodollar deal, where America said, okay, you know what, you can sell your gas and oil as long as it is in America. Buy and sell in American dollar. That's number one. Number two, use what you can, your surplus, invest it in our treasury bills and all that stuff. Americans, so they were buying, you could see that they are the biggest investors in America. Number three, we will offer you defense. So that's why they built all the outposts in every country there. Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, UAE, all over. And these are American defense forces. A lot of them. So, but then things have started changing. Crude, Saudi Arabia is selling crude to China in yuan. The things are changing. And we're no longer talking about unipolar world, we're talking about multipolar world. BRICS have come in. Things are changing dramatically. But let's get to the bottom of this. OPEC was useful because we were new boys on the block coming in to sell our crude. Always impressive for you to join a club and then get as much high price as you can. But that is a business based on crude. Today, the business is not just crude. If you look at the profile of what is going on in that Red Sea, that area, and then the Hormuz, Strait of Hormuz, all the things there are natural gas and crude. There are some refining, but that is not the major business there. So, but when you come to Nigeria, our major business is tilting away towards refining sovereignty.
NNPC has ceased to be our model anyway because they have allowed 4 refineries to go dead because of the macabre dance they are having with OPEC. They are so entrenched in this OPEC shenanigan that they allow all their refining capacity to die. Now, we now have the new boys on the block, Dangote and all his modular refineries and everybody now refining. So Nigeria has got a strength now as a refining. Do you know how much Africa spends on buying imported refined petroleum products? $100 billion. Now, $20 billion goes to just PMS, of which Nigeria was using half, 10 billion. Now, all of these equations have changed. And then it's not just Dangote that is now doubling his investment from 20 billion to 40 billion, 650,000 barrels a day to 1.4 billion million barrels a day. But you have Bua doing 200,000 barrels a day. You have $50 billion investment heading into Ondo to do minimum of 50,000 barrels a day. And you now have NNPC wanting to come back now with some Chinese companies to get back to at least 300,000 barrels a day. So you can see that the quantum of crude required in the next 2 years will be between 2.5 to 3 million barrels a day. Now, 2 things are critical. It means that these people are going to be looking for their crude. And all of them may not be as strong as Dangote that is importing crude from anywhere and everywhere, from America, and then just recently now, just last week, what do you call it? UAE has sent him 2 shiploads. So more are going to come. Okay, now, the issue is this. Why would we have crude oil in Nigeria and huge refining capacity is going to come, requiring 2 times more volume? And all the things they are looking at is, will OPEC allow us to increase from 1.8 to 2.5? That's nonsense. We're not going to talk about that. Because the business we are doing now has nothing to do with OPEC. OPEC should go, should blow it away. Let me put another one. Now, NNPC will not be in a position to provide enough crude that will be required by all of this. Why? Because they've already encircled the 455,000 barrels are allowed by OPEC, and they're massaging those. Each time Dangote Group asks them about this 4-5, they say, forget it. So now the issue is this. Many investors in upstream, you can see the success on the licensing round. Many investors who are active in upstream crude supply and operation will want Nigeria because they will do it in Nigeria and they will be refined locally in Nigeria. It will be cheaper for them because they will produce here, they will invest here, produce, drill, and then they will be picked up immediately and refined. So they don't have to incur additional cost of shipping their stuff thousands of kilometers away and all that stuff. So, but they will not invest in Nigeria because they are worried about OPEC slamming down on their output, saying you can't what? They have no more place in our economic calculus. That's the simple point. And then
interesting there from Prof talking about Nigerian exiting OPEC because of some of the stringent measurements that OPEC normally bring, particularly on the stability of
international price benchmarks.
Now, Prof, we are hearing you.
Look at Angola. Look, Angola got out. Angola now, the government gives the refiners the price that they can live with, and their petrol PMS is $0.33. Our own is $0.8. Ghana is $1.3. The other people, like Cote d'Ivoire and Senegal, are $1.7. Our own is even much lower than Ghana because Dangote is putting 20% subsidy on the PMS. And they're now giving you CNG infrastructure, transportation infrastructure free. It would have been much, much higher than that. But if you get OPEC out of your way, the government can say, okay, though these are our local refiners, I'll give you the crude at $60 or 65. After our benchmark price in our destiny is 65. Or you take it at 65, but make sure that Nigerians are buying the fuel at 800 or 750 or 700 naira per liter. That is the local deal. But if you want to export, you can export it at any price you like. Do you understand? So that is the argument.
Interesting. You just made mention of Angola right now. But for UAE that just exited about 2 months ago, what lesson can we learn from UAE exiting OPEC? Because for them, they wrap up their exiting on national interest. Can Nigeria also build its own argument on that aspect?
Is it international interest?
No, national interest of UAE.
No, I'm coming. No. I'm asking you, how would you describe the interest of $20 billion refining capacity in Nigeria, increasing to $40 billion, another $50 billion, and other stuff? $100 billion are being invested in refining capacity. Is it international interest? It's national interest. There's no greater interest than Nigerian national interest to have investors or bring this magnitude of money into your economy. So the thing is this, our interest in doing this is even higher than that of UAE. UAE, part of their problem is that Saudi Arabia is controlling this whole thing, doing over 6 million barrels, and then making sure that others don't do more than 2 million, 3 million, and Nigeria 1 point something million. So they're fed up with all that thing. It is clear to them that they're not going to have their way with Saudi Arabia. So they decided to go. But our case is built on refining, value addition. I can hardly understand why God has blessed you. God is not sleeping. God purposely gave these 44 solid minerals to Nigeria, gave you crude and gas, so that you can refine this, add value to them, and feed your population and grow your economy. But what you are saying is, no, I want to take it to somebody else. I will export it, exporting jobs and importing poverty. How can God give you wealth and then you prefer poverty? I don't understand. You give it to somebody else to refine for you, and then you kill the industries that are here already to refine. And what kind of economics is that? So and then second, another area is this: Nigeria should stop lamenting. We should stop reading from the book of Lamentation on what is going on in Strait of Hormuz. What is your business? We have no business with Donald Trump and the Israelis and the Iranian in their palaver. We have no business with that. Because the reason is this: the only person that is making money in all of this hula baloo is Donald Trump. You've seen his returns. He's making a lot of money. He now says publicly that $28.5 billion is what America is spent on this war. But America has not told us that America, from all the things I'm seeing here, may have issued contracts, may have contracted defense contracts worth $2 trillion to provide defense equipment as a result of all this. So you can see they're bleeding these companies, these countries in the Gulf, that are bleeding them to death. There are more and more equipment, more and more military hardware. So where is that going to end? So Nigeria should focus on competition, draw the attention of the world that we have a Gulf of Guinea that is equally important and even more important, because it starts from around the area of Angola, coming up to Cameroon, Gabon, then comes through Nigeria, and all our littoral states are oil fields. And then in between, gas. Then you have Equatorial Guinea on the left, and then heading down to Ghana. And Nigeria owns the territorial shelf from Cameroon to Ghana, because we are in charge of the territorial shelf of continental shelf, of Togo and Benin and Nigeria. So we have business there. We should be promoting that. And then if you now come to the Nigerian littoral state, you see massive concentration of refining power. You can only compare that to Texas, where you have 32 refineries and nearly 5,000 petrochemicals. So that is a different kind of business, where people will come to get crude, but in fact, even more refined products. So that in that way, we are more important than the Gulf of Hormuz, all that shenanigan going on there.
Interesting. Prof, for those who are against the argument of Nigeria exiting OPEC, they have raised the question that if we leave, there are more risks that are going to be confronted than the benefit that may come on the long term. They are making mention of the infrastructural deficit in an oil and gas sector. Even though you have made mention of the likes of Dangote, Smith, the refinery that's coming up, and others across the country. But the people against Nigerian leaving OPEC are saying we are not yet there because of our deficit infrastructure. But what do you make of that argument from the side of deficit, oil and gas infrastructure in Nigeria?
That argument is baseless. It's absolutely baseless. Let me tell you why. One, OPEC does not buy our crude, neither does OPEC sell our crude. It's just a gang that is telling people, don't reduce your production so that the price will go up. And they don't know, okay, you can produce more so that the price can. That is what it's doing. It doesn't buy or sell our Nigerian crude. OPEC doesn't lend us money to build any factory. If anything, there's complicity between them and NNPC to kill our refineries so that you can export those crude to constituencies that will process them and bring back to you African blend. And you better go and find out about African blend. That is substandard petroleum products, where the sulfur content is above 50 ppm. Some of them are 1,500 ppm. Is absolute pollution of our economy. All right, keep that aside. Now, what is the OPEC plus? Russia, all these other countries that are in OPEC plus. What relevance is OPEC to them? They're doing their thing. They are buying and selling, investing as they like, and don't have anybody breathing down your neck, telling you what quantity to produce and what not to produce. And they're scaring away investors who want to come in your upstream and invest huge sums of money. And they'll link it to the local production capacity for refining. So, it's completely outdated. It's no longer relevant to what the country really needs right now.
Interesting. Now, Prof, from all you have said so far, it seems there is a horizon of opportunities if Nigeria exits OPEC. So what are the future of Nigerian oil and gas sector if by now Nigerian government decide that we are leaving OPEC, just like Angola left and just like UAE also left? So what are the opportunities for Nigerian oil and gas industry as well as the future prospect of the oil and gas industry for Nigeria?
You are going to get a massive explosion of investment in our downstream and midstream sector. Massive. And then you're also going to have massive investment on the upstream, because the upstream is the one that gives you the product to refine. So you will now unlock the lock jam. Well, let me tell you what, NNPC will never agree that we should leave OPEC, because it is one instrument that they use to intimidate the president and everybody here. Oh, OPEC said this, OPEC said that. Because one of you had been Secretary General or something at some point, and then you think OPEC is up. OPEC is absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Is just, you don't need it. You don't need it, because this company is we're heading to $1 trillion economy, and then tell me how OPEC will help you. OPEC will block you. It won't let you do all the things you want to do. And they're not even, they don't buy your crude from you. They don't sell your crude from you. What is it? It's just to police you and then prevent our government from taking, because let's look at why are you having price of petrol over 1,000 naira? Simply because OPEC is insisting on that price of $77, $80, all that stuff. And then you cannot give the crude to local refiners at prices less than the market price. But the government could say, get out of OPEC. Look, I want to give this crude to you at $60. Prepare this, refine it, let's have it, roll it out at 700, 800 naira to people. Is a deal, it's an internal domestic deal. And then if you want to sell some crude outside, you can sell it at whatever rate the market gives you. So that is the point. Your population is suffering because OPEC membership is, okay, look at your gas. Your gas is the same thing. Now you are giving your gas to your power generation companies at an international benchmark price. So, but when you have total control, you will give and then because they are getting it at $2-something per cubic feet, look at how much they are selling the power. You are paying 209 naira for band A, and you're not getting the power. 20 hours a day, are you getting 20? Tell me where in Nigeria where you're getting 20 hours a day of electricity, yet you are paying 209. And then they'll tell you they'll bring reform. Where is the reform? I mean, this is all totally, but you have to exercise sovereignty over your natural resources. God gave these things to you. So you should utilize them, you should improve on them, add value to them, and feed your population and grow your economy. and stop all these appendages to power and all that stuff, they're not going to help us.
Interesting. Prof, if you have the opportunity or the hearing or the audience of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu now, what will you tell him to do so that we can quickly, fastly exit OPEC?
Okay, first of all, I will ask the president to please sign that bill that has been sitting on your desk for more than 9 months. And what is that bill? We have a 30% mandatory value addition bill that says any raw material in this country should not be exported without adding minimum of 30% value. Immediately, that takes care of crude oil. All right? Now, secondly, all these raw materials, see, we've been doing this in ECOWAS for more than 15 years. Most of all our applications, even Ghana, is doing 50%. Now, 30% is our value addition rule of origin in ECOWAS region, beyond which you can now be eligible for ETLS, and then goods will move around, refined goods move around the whole country, the whole region, tax-free. Under the Africa Continental Free Trade, it is 40%. So 50%. And are you telling me that Ghana is not doing well? Go and look at Ghana's exchange rate. They come down. Ghana has repurchasing their gold. I know that sometime in the past, CBN was purchasing gold, and then who should do more gold refining, more lithium refining? CBN should buy back the gold that are refined and then put them in our reserves. That is a stronger backing for our naira rather than dollar. Do you understand? Let's take the necessary steps. You're losing about $3 billion on racketeering going on in gold mining here and there in Zamfara, wherever it is. Can you get half of that money, half of that gold into the gold reserves, into our reserves? You see where naira will go. Naira will quickly return to 500 naira to $1. Look at Ghana. Their cities have come down, come back, and then the inflation dropped to single digit. So this is an rocket science because you can see the comparison. But vested interest in our country will not let you even have a look in. So that's the nature of the vested interest in our country. And it will not stop us from talking about those. So that's the first thing I'll ask the president to do. Release those. Okay, now look, I was involved in national development planning, and we're looking at this figure. We're only getting $6.1 billion from non-oil export. If that non-oil export, what's the maximum that it can go by 2030 in 4 years' time? Let us say that it doubles. Okay, let's say it triples, 300%. That is still 20 billion. Are you with me? Even if it multiplies by 600%, it is 40. Is 40 billion going to give you $1 trillion economy? So I want you to see realism, because look away from oil is what I call is a racket, telling you to look away from oil, and telling you that non-oil you're talking about, you will not be able to get $40 billion, $30 billion in that place. Even if you do 30% value addition, you won't get it. You won't get it. So you got to go to oil and refine the oil, because this was what they were telling you, so that they can scam you away from investing in downstream and midstream oil industry. And so they can conveniently kill the refineries and tell you to look away. It's a scam. Now, Dangote has come in to show that it is a scam. Look at the investment that he's putting in. Has $20 billion. Did you see it as a foreign direct investment? They still regard it as a domestic investment. But you can see more people that are coming in and joining the chorus.
Interesting.
We have to
now, Prof, now that you have talked about Dangote, let's really shift our gear to African economy, particularly the oil and gas sector. I think 2 months ago, Dangote said he's going to be investing in the energy sector. But right now, we are seeing him taking a drastic step by unveiling a 17 billion funding plan for his Kenya refinery project. Prof, we have been talking about Dangote for a very long time. But here it is. The plan is here. The project is here. And it's there to take action in Kenya. A 700,000 barrel crude oil refinery. Let's have your take on that, sir.
Well, if you add them together, 1.4 million barrels for Nigeria, and then 700, up to 2.1 million barrels a day. That is what we're going for. And you will see that within these next 2 years, by 2028, you'll be rolling out. So, and that is not the end of it. I want to tell you this. By that 2030, Dangote would be investing not less than $100 billion in Africa. And just write it somewhere and say, Professor Ken told you, he will be investing $100 billion. Wait for his capitalization to come through. Let's wait for it to come through. Because the money is going to be getting there, he's going to be reinvesting it. You haven't seen anything. So if you have this truck coming, why do you stand in front of the truck or in front of a rail, a railway train? You don't stand in front of a train.
Interesting. Now, going further into what you are set to do in Kenya, for you, Prof, do you see the Kenya business environment more suitable for him to get all these things done, just like he has been doing in Nigeria, particularly in Lagos, Lekki, where he has his $20 billion refinery?
No, it's doable. You know why? I was very worried the first time he made the announcement because it was like it was tending towards, I think, Zambia or something. But I was more particular. We should be going to Mombasa because Mombasa has a brilliant deep sea port and it is in the Horn of Africa. And from that particular location, he will have less to spend on the entire project. And he has more to gain because the seaport has developed. You know, when he built our own Lekki, it wasn't going to cost you more than 10 billion. But the moment the sea started chopping money, you see millions and millions of tons of sand that had to be evacuated and this and that. And then the port had to be further dredged and all that stuff to bring in the size of the equipment. Now, if he's going to do that outside Mombasa, you have to think about how you're going to transport them. Those same huge equipment. So it's the best decision that he's taken to put it there. And also from Mombasa, you have Lamu corridor from Lamu that takes continental rail all the way and highway all the way across the middle of the Africa, all the way heading to northern Cameroon. That means that he already has a distribution line for distributing his product. And railway can carry the product, road can carry the product, and he can have pipeline ducts in there. So all that case is very, very solid for him to do that. And then there are also crude coming in from the hinterland around him, even Sudan and then DR Congo, even in the Kenya. They all have some crude, patches of crude. And then, you know, and then it's closer to Arab world anyway, because those people can drop the crude to him from UAE and those other corridors. So it's no longer like going all the way to America to go and buy, or to Russia to go and buy crude. So it's a very, very viable location.
Exactly. Now let's now shift gear also back into Nigeria with what Dangote and IPMA. IPMA, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association, what they have done in the last 3 days, you know, with Dangote slashing the price of PMS price at the gantry level to 1,075 naira. Prof, were you expecting this price to come this low or further low than what we are right now?
It could come further low, okay? But the challenge that we have is this. Even though, just look at the fluctuation in the last 3 days. He jumped down to 72, then he jumped up again when this man sneezed, Donald Trump. Then he jumped up again when he started fighting.
Prof, go ahead, sir.
You know, Donald Trump is a market maker for crude prices. That's why I said that he's the only one making money from this whole thing. So because who knows what he's going to do next, and so market rates. So So the thing is this. So that price came down, and suddenly when he released all the 70 attack jet, boom, the thing went back again to 80 something, and then now it came down to 77, and it's swinging. But it is not where the price lies right now that matters. What matters is this. Resumption of hostility means that the premium on insurance is going to come back, and it will remain as long as the hostility is there. Then the premium on the premium on the shipping costs will come back, and it will remain there, whether the price goes down or not, simply because the hostility is there. So that's the problem. Then, of course, you now see an added cost of transportation, added cost of insurance, now to come onshore, and then you have cost of refining. And cost of refining keeps going up because it's all indexed in dollar. So those keeps going up. Then for the oil marketers that are importing the fuel, they also have to add to it their distribution costs. But Dangote wants to reduce this cost by rolling out his CNG to move through Oyo, through Abuja, Kaduna, Kano, so that to push it so that they can enforce low price at the hinterland. So that is doing, he's not doing it because he's going to earn any money. He's not charging for it, but it's just to de-risk the local storage and supply and resolve the asymmetries around those fuel supply and distribution.
Interesting. So before I let you go, one interesting discussion that I've also showed on the headline of news across the country is the NNPC Chinese move to revive the 25 billion field refinery project. You know, the 3 refinery or 4 refinery, NNPC has expanded as much as 25 billion on them to revive this refinery. But now, nothing to show for it, but Chinese companies are coming. Prof, what is your take? I know we have discussed this before, but we expect Ojulari to still come up and tell us how far they have gone with this revival engagement with Chinese firm.
Well, I think this question has to be directed to NNPC. I remember that in one interview with Arise, I dealt with it. I gave my candid opinion.
Exactly.
You want to express an opinion. The other thing is to know what the people are trying to do. They don't want to tell us what they are exactly doing. We don't know the terms of the MOU. But I painted a vision, a positive vision, to say if they were minded to look, because I looked at the profile of those 2 companies, I thought that there may be something there. Because one of them is on petrochemical, refinery and petrochemical. The other one is on industrial ecosystem. So I said, if they work together, they complement each other, and then NNPC would throw in the refineries, deadwood refineries, as their own equity, and then make it 49%, and let those people bring their money, and then their own contribution to the SPV could be 51%. And under what vision? The vision would be to create energy park, all right, in which NNPC will seek to bring gas into the park where you have already refinery, so that you can have integrated development of both the energy hub and the other stuff. So it becomes a huge cluster in the same way that I have described the Texas. But then it's a vision. It's only my vision. They will do what they want to do. And we are here waiting for them. It's one thing is to give them an idea of what could happen. You don't know what they have on their chest. So we are watching. But I will oppose any attempt to bring in sovereign guarantee into this arrangement, because we have provided our own. Let the Chinese people get the loan from the China Exim Bank, concessionary rates. Let them go to Sinoshore let them do the EPC, the engineering procurement contractors, because this is going to be tied loan. So they are going to be the one to do the job anyway, and they're the one borrowing the money. So let them do it and let them manage it. So NNPC should not go and throw any more dollar into that equation. And if they want to throw more dollar, we'll go back to the trenches and start fighting them.
Exactly. I've known you, Prof, for always coming out tactfully to speak to some of these government agencies, from CBN to NNPC and many of them. Prof, I really want to appreciate you for coming on the show today. It's a pleasant engagement always having you on my show, The Market Report. Professor Ken Ife, thank you so much for coming on the show today, sir.
Thank you. Always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Sir. Thank you so much, sir. I've been speaking with Professor Ken Ife, an economist and energy expert. You know, for him, NNPC, don't go and waste any more money on that for refinery. Let this Chinese company do the needful. My name is Adbn Olamilekon. We're already in the weekend. Today is Friday. Owambe is everywhere. Till we see you on Monday, I say, enjoy your weekend, but stay out of trouble. Bye for now.